Okay, so what if you could build a thriving economy literally from scratch, right in your own community? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty groundbreaking new roadmap that shows us how it might just be possible.
You know, it's a huge question, right? It stumps even the experts. How do you kickstart growth in a place with limited resources? I mean, where do you even begin to find that first spark?
Well, to get at an answer, we're going to zoom in on a real world example. Let's head to the heart of Oklahoma and explore the really ambitious vision of the Pawnee Nation. So, the Pawnee Nation, like a lot of rural communities, is facing some tough economic challenges. But here's the thing, they have this incredible vision for their future to bring back their bison herds and cultivate traditional crops. And this is so much bigger than just food. It's about achieving what's called food sovereignty, the power to define their own agricultural systems, and building a sustainable economy completely on their own terms. Now, a challenge this big needs a totally new way of thinking, right? You can't just use the old playbook. And it turns out, one researcher uncovered exactly that, a potential game-changing roadmap for economic development. All right, let's get into it. It's called the SCEED model. Yeah, I know, it's a mouthful. It stands for Sustainable Community Entrepreneurial Ecosystem Development. It comes from the doctoral work of Alexander Rohan John, and it offers a really fresh path forward for communities just like the Pawnee Nation. Okay, so what exactly is this SCED model? What's the secret sauce here? Well, it really boils down to a powerful mix of three key ingredients. So SEED basically smashes together three big ideas: sustainability, the idea of an entrepreneurial ecosystem, and community. The real magic, the secret, is how they work together to create the perfect environment for local, sustainable entrepreneurs to really thrive. The idea is that this sparks a chain reaction of long-term growth for the whole community. Let's break them down. First up, sustainable development. And look, this isn't about making a quick buck. It's all about building a system that's healthy for both people and the planet, for the long, long haul. Okay, next ingredient, the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Now, think about it like a garden. You can't just throw some seeds on the ground and expect a miracle, right? No way. You need good soil, you need water, you need sunlight. Well, it's the exact same idea for entrepreneurs. They need a nurturing environment, access to money, mentors, strong networks, if they're ever going to get off the ground. And this is where it gets really interesting, because this approach is so different from the old way of doing things. These old school clusters that were always top-down, led by the government or some huge corporation. The ecosystem approach, it's a total bottom-up revolution. It's all about empowering local people, the entrepreneurs themselves, to build something new from the ground up. But that leads to the big question, right? How do you actually build this entrepreneurial garden in a place that doesn't have a ton of resources to start with? Well, the SCED model has this secret ingredient that is a total game changer. I mean, it's that classic chicken and egg problem, isn't it? Do you need a strong economy before entrepreneurs will show up? Or do you need entrepreneurs to build the strong economy? Which one comes first? The answer, and this is what's so wild, it doesn't really come from an economics textbook. It comes from psychology. We're talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Yeah, that pyramid you probably learned about in school. The idea is so simple, but it's absolutely brilliant. You build an economy just like you'd build a house. You don't start with the fancy trim on the roof, do you? Of course not. You start with a rock-solid foundation. And in this case, that foundation means creating businesses that meet the most basic, fundamental human needs first. So this pyramid, it's not just some abstract theory anymore. It becomes a literal step-by-step roadmap. You start at the bottom, supporting what they call necessity entrepreneurs, the folks providing essentials like food and housing. Once that foundation is solid, then you can move up the pyramid, supporting businesses in things like healthcare, education, and eventually even arts and culture. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? Well, let's circle back to the Pawnee Nation because they actually put this whole thing to the test. So they took the general SCED model, this big academic idea, and they customized it. They made it specific for their community, their culture, their goals. And that custom plan became TEEPE, the Tribal Entrepreneurial Ecosystem Pawnee Initiative. And this is where it all comes together. That abstract concept gets turned into a real, tangible plan that the Pawnee Nation can actually use. The TEEPE model is a powerful tool that's literally helping them build towards their dream of food sovereignty and a sustainable future. And you have to see, the implications here are just massive. This isn't just one small project. We're talking about a whole new way for communities to take control of their own economic destiny. And that's really the key takeaway here. As the researcher himself says, this isn't just about one community in Oklahoma. This bottom-up, needs-based approach could be a game changer for struggling communities all over the world. It's a solution that could actually scale. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. In a world that's always chasing the next big tech startup, the next billion-dollar idea, have we maybe been overlooking the most powerful economic engine of all, just meeting our most basic human needs?